Hi, I'm Heather, the Garden Girl, and I want to welcome you to the third episode. We're in the third week of April. As you can see, it's a little gloomy out today, but as the saying goes, April showers bring May flowers. So we're hopeful. It's not minus 18 anymore, so it's on the up and up. What we're going to cover today is something that I actually stumbled across. I knew it was really important, but I guess I didn't realize how important until I actually started looking at some numbers. And I wanted to bring Paula on with me today. She's been a local realtor for how many years now?
I'm older than dirt, but 25 years.
Okay, so 25 years experience. I'm going to say she's got her thing down pat. So what I'm going to do here is give you some information, and then I'd like Paula to kind of take over. She knows our area very well with her being a realtor, and she can give some of you homeowners hints, tips, and tricks on maybe what you need to do here to up that value. So let's look at some hard numbers. Clemson University did a study, and their study concluded that houses that were well landscaped, their value went up 6 to 7%. Doesn't seem like much, but you start adding that on these higher priced houses, and that makes a big difference. I know that last year the National Association of Realtors did a survey with home buyers, and they said curb appeal was important to 71%. 71, that's almost 3/4. And as you know, landscaping is a huge part of that. So 71% of these home buyers, they're looking at the outside when they walk in. Another factor that I found interesting was that the U.S. Department of Energy did a survey, and with some of their testing and trials, you can actually, by planting windbreaks and shade trees, you can cut 15% off your heating costs and up to 75% off your AC bill. So that's drastic. Now, granted, that's not coming here and buying a 5-foot tall tree. We're talking a nice sized tree that's mature. Speaking of which, when homeowners were out looking at their possible new humble abode, the first thing they looked at was landscaping, and their top priority was a sophisticated design. But second in the importance, believe it or not, I'm not surprised by this, was plant size and maturity of the plants and the trees. So there's a lot of things coming into factor here. Not that we have a problem in our area, but in a lot of inner cities like Chicago, they did a study with apartments. Crime rates were dropped 46 to 58%, even on violent crimes, just by identical properties, one that had greenery, trees, landscaping out front, versus the inner city apartments that had none. So again, we're looking at reduced aggression. There's a lot of things that come into play here. People being outdoors more, making it harder for criminals. So this is why I wanted to have Paula come here today and talk to you about our area and the community, so that she can tell you here, as soon as we get back after break, I am turning this over to her. I want her to talk to you guys about some really good ideas. If you're on the fence about whether or not to landscape, I want her to talk to you about what works around here and what doesn't. So, and just so you know, I do have some Arizona people out there. I know this is Tuscarawas County, but I have some Arizona friends, and I know that a lot of older properties out there use chain link fence. If you guys update to the block walls instead of the chain link, Arizona Real Estate did a study. You can up your value $2,000 to $5,000 on resale. So that's what you're looking at there, and for my Arizona buddies. So we are going to cut to a break, and as soon as we come back, I am turning it over to the guru for real estate.
We live in a fast-paced world. Say goodbye to searching books,
and search engines for all the answers. Now there's iTowns. From finding a place to dine or locating your family doctor, you can also check out the high school game of the week from TV2 Sports. Get your answer with just one click. iTowns has it all.
A nursing home or your own home, it's good to be home. So call Ember Complete Care for all of your home health needs. When you're recovering from illness or injury, our compassionate staff promotes healing in the most comfortable environment of all, your own home. For skilled nursing, physical therapy, wound care, and more, Ember Complete Care serves all of Tuscarawas, Coshocton, and Harrison counties. Call 800-462-0909. Ember Complete Care. It's good to be home.
Hi, I'm 1450 WJER's Bill Morgan, inviting you to join me on television Wednesday evenings at 7 and Friday afternoons at 5 for TV2 Sports Talk. Sports Talk is your weekly look inside high school football, volleyball, soccer, and more. Look for guest appearances from your favorite area coaches and players. TV2 Sports Talk, Wednesday evenings at 7 and Friday afternoons at 5 on DMG Channel 2 on Time Warner Cable.
Everybody, I'm glad you decided not to run away or go to the grocery store and that you're back. So again, we have Paula here with us, and Paula, you've been a realtor here for 25 years.
Yes.
So you know this area pretty good.
Yeah, and I can tell you, we as agents have one chance to make a good first impression, and a lot of the buyers tell me when they drive by a home, if they don't see it landscaped nice, it reflects on what's inside. We hear a lot about staging a home, and you normally don't just stage interiorly, you stage outside. We're talking mulch, we're talking pop of color, well, everything that you specialize in. And a stat that I did here recently was 10% of value on certain price range homes. It can raise the price to a home. It is more than important than actually sometimes utility bills just to get the buyer into the home.
Well, and I was reading other stuff too, and I know some people will go in and they'll remodel a bathroom or, instead of doing the landscaping. And from what I read in multiple places, the return was higher on the actual landscaping than what it was on a bathroom.
I think that's so true, but I think it's so hard to prove that, because if you don't even get that buyer in, and why did you not get them in the house to give you some kind of feedback? Maybe it was because when they drove by, they didn't see anything that made them want to go in, that said, I'm home, I'm a welcome place to live. They take care of their outside. Maybe the inside is just the same. It's very important.
Well, and I think the average person, for me to go in front of a house that isn't landscaped, that's open territory for me. I'm excited. I'm going to dig in and start laying out designs and colored pencils and everything else and computer programs and design something. But a lot of people, especially when you get older, if you're not experienced in it, you don't know where to start. You got to look at your sun, your shade, what side of the house, if it's running from the front, around the side. I think you have to take a lot of things into consideration. What's some of the feedback you've gotten around here from people? Do they want to see the annuals? Do they want, the big grasses? Are they looking for the big trees? Or
That's a great question, and it's the same as with an age group or the type of home. If we're looking at a condominium, of course, those people want low maintenance, so they want to see a beautifully landscaped, easy to maintain property. So that's where you would come in saying, here's do annuals, do this will come up. They're usually from 60 to 80-year-olds. They do not want to have to mess with that, but they do want to show off their home when they have folks come in. Now, if we're talking an upper scale, they're going to want to see the tall grasses. They want to see a mature tree. They usually want to see lots of backyard updates and landscaping.
Well, and that brings another point. One of the biggest trends, you obviously see I have baskets and little things sitting here. Everything goes in trends, and not only I think the real estate world has become more competitive and the backyards have become more of an outdoor living area. There's a lot more fire pits going in, a lot more decks, patios, upscale furniture. I saw this trend happen. Honestly, in the last 4 years, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Pools even, there's more pools going in. So I think you have to look at everything in a nutshell. Yes, you need that front yard. Obviously, if you're selling your home, you want that front yard, like she said, to look really welcoming. Like, hey, I want to walk in here. This looks gorgeous.
And don't misunderstand me. If you do have a small yard, that's fine too. Some people do want that, but they want their yard to be an extension of their privacy on the inside too, so they can walk out and enjoy the sun, but still feel like they have a designed backyard, just like they showcase their inside of their home.
Sure. I mean, in the summertime, we're here in Ohio. We have limited months that we can sit outside and grill out. So I would have to say I'm in agreement, because
Yes.
I do the same thing. I'm always inviting people over outside grilling. So I'm really picky, obviously, about how my landscape looks. I want it to look like a tropical beach jungle.
And my job as an agent is square footage is important. So if a person can feel like this backyard is an extension of the square footage of the home that I'm purchasing, they just saw value in buying a bigger home because it extends out, be it with furniture, be it with landscaping, be it with a small little place to cozy up and have a fire. It's definitely adding value to a home.
And I think some people are probably gonna be like, well, that's fine. You're probably talking about $100,000, $200,000 homes, or, what about, we have a lot of homes in this community that are 1,200 square foot, 1,300 square foot. I live in one of those. So, I think some of the people are like, well, gosh, what's the point of putting this much money into it if it's a little house anyhow, and I just have a little backyard? I still would myself.
You should, especially if you're going to try to put it on the market. Definitely. I don't care if the lot is 90 by 90, a smaller, what we consider a smaller lot. If you have a place to walk out the back, a door, something, make it inviting, even if it's a pot of flowers, that you are extending the person to come out and see where my backyard is. What I have here is a private place. If you don't have much of a backyard, you have a side yard, you have the landscaping in the front of the home. It all adds up. Not every buyer is the same, and there's a house for everyone. If it's landscaped, it's definitely going to add value.
Yeah, and I think that's something that everybody kind of needs to think about. And, when you're talking about walkways with pavers and those, to me, that's really important. Who wants to walk out onto dirt? I mean, I love my lawn. And again, that's why on our second episode, I wanted to cover the lawn, because I think there's steps throughout the spring that we can take to add value to your home, add comfortability to it. And this is why I really wanted to come in on this today, because we're taking steps. I'm trying to take you guys in steps here on how to get that perfect wow factor right off the bat. So
and remember, as an agent, people want to walk around the outside of your home. They may say they're looking at the roof or the siding or their foundation, but when a woman falls in love with the home, they're looking at the outside, where their children are going to play, everything. It's not just one thing. And I do walk them all around the outside.
Oh yeah. Thanks, guys. Stay tuned. When we come back, I'm going to show you how to put together a little miniature garden for spring for any age group. And I want to thank Paula for being here today with us. I appreciate it so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Stay tuned.
Searching for quality bottled water? Call Crystal Springs Water Company.
Crystal Springs Water is a family-owned and operated company that's been proudly serving the community since 1986. Crystal Springs offers a quality bottled water in a variety of sizes to suit your everyday needs. They also carry a selection of water coolers, cups, bottle racks, hydro pumps, and premium water softening salts. All available for pickup or delivery. Call Crystal Springs Water Company today. As the area's leader in direct-to-garment printing, you won't be surprised by Dennison T-Shirt Graphics' huge range of services: screen printing, banners, engraving, graphic design, and embroidery. They offer just about anything you can imagine, like shirts, mugs, hats, plaques, trophies, and more. They're located right here in New Philadelphia on the south side and on the web at DennisonT-shirt.com.
Hi, I'm Elaine Miller with Naturally Green Cleaning Service. My company serves both commercial and residential clients. We do general cleaning, spring and fall, empty homes to get them move-in ready, and final cleans for new construction. We use eco-friendly cleaning products that leave your home or office fresh, clean, and safe for you, your family, pets, or coworkers. Our focus at Naturally Green is to provide excellent customer service paired with outstanding work to build a relationship of trust with you, our clients. Having served the area 4+ years, we have had many referrals and testimonials that you can access on our website at www.naturallygreencs.com. Our work sells itself, therefore we have never had any contracts even with our largest commercial accounts. Call us today for your free quote and see what makes our company stand out.
Well, hi, thanks for coming back, everybody. And again, thank you, Paula, for coming over and hopefully educating our community about the value to real estate and how landscaping makes a big play in that. So it's right before Easter, and I was gonna do fairy gardening, but what I'm gonna do is try to tie it in. Fairy gardening was started, I'd say 4 years ago, roughly. And it became a huge trend. And yes, I know the word fairy, it makes you think of girls and grandmas, and that's fine. That's, it's become very creative. It's also become one of the largest classes at our Tuscarawas County Fair. The fairy gardening class actually had, more entries, just doubled in that class. She was running out of space. So this I'd actually like to put together, since we're right before Easter, is like a centerpiece or a little outdoor planter with a fairy and without. So that way you can change them up if you want. The world of, and this is why I'm going to stop using the word fairy gardening, this is miniature gardening. It has now branched out so greatly that people are doing terrariums. They are putting in dinosaurs. This has become a boys thing too. I mean, you can get Paul Bunyan, it's for Tim the Tool Man, it's for anybody now. Guys can get crazy with the succulents, have lizards in there, snakes. It's really just branched. So the creativity is limitless. So when we say miniature, everybody thinks small. And that's not always true. It's just very creative. And everything is, like, you can get your little shrubs now. This one here is not going to have one because it's Easter. But I've seen people pretty much like bonsai tree. They're arborvitaes and spruces. So they look like there's little trees in there. So again, the possibilities are limitless. And what I want to do is take you through just building a simple little Easter basket that you can give as a gift, put outside your front door on your porch, or put it inside as a centerpiece. So I picked out my own basket. I love yellow, and yellow polka dots are even better yet. This one here has a cloth liner. Of course, over time, is it gonna degrade and fall apart? Absolutely. But for right now, for short term, this is gonna be fabulous. So what I did, I pre-soaked my soil. Again, you're gonna see all this lovely white stuff. This is for aeration. This is a good thing. You gotta make sure plants, I've seen people kill more plants overwatering than underwatering, trust me. So what I'm gonna do pull up my sleeves here and get some of this pre-moistened soil in here. Now, I'm only gonna build it up halfway, and I'll tell you why. I need to place my plants in, so I don't really wanna fill it, and I don't need to now because it's already pre-moistened. So it's not gonna, you know, the minute I water, it's not gonna compact down as much. So we're gonna get her halfway filled. And what you wanna do is lay out, and you can change things a million times. I do. I've done quite a few fairy gardens and miniature gardens, and even some succulent gardens, and I always change things up. Sometimes I don't have anything in there. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna loosely just pack it in here. As you can see, it's trying not to get this dirty. 3/4, there's like a couple inches to the top. And I'm not gonna smush it down yet because I wanna get my plants in there. So I know that I think, and I love the Cherry Star Super Bells. I'm gonna use this. This is an annual. This is an annual, but that's okay because I always wanna change things out. So we're gonna pop this little guy out. And again, if you're giving it as a gift, I really, really recommend you hang on to the tags. So I don't need all this. All I need is a root. So I'm just gonna shake him off here a little bit and kind of place him. Now, I'm gonna use this as the back of my garden, okay? As the back of my little container. This is gonna be the taller plant, so to speak. So I'm gonna get some soil shrubbed up around him. And again, don't take it clear to the top because when it comes time to water, you don't want it spilling over. You wanna be able to lightly water it. So we're gonna push him down and give him a happy little place, and he's in. Okay, now at this point, I can say, well, what do I want around him? Well, I know that if I'm gonna put my fairy in or my bunny, I'm gonna hide her in like a little pansy circle. So, and as you can see, if you can get a close-up of that, this is nice white roots. These are healthy. That is a beautiful thing. So you can tear the bottom just a titch. Again, these are annuals that you'd be surprised how resilient plants are. And I'm gonna get them placed in. Now, what I wanna do is I wanna create a walkway from her, the fairy that I'm using. I did not mean plant. I wanna create kind of a little walkway from her. And again, see how I'm trying to keep these equal? Because when you water, you don't want one down in deeper. You end up root rotting it. Everything should always be planted flush, unless you're doing tomatoes. Then you plant them deeper. But what I'm gonna do here is kind of triangle this. If you can see, I'm kind of doing a triangle because then when I build my other soil around here, which I'm going to right now because I've got my stopping point. And don't forget, you're not gonna see me throw in a ton of plants right off the bat. Just like this little guy here. This was planted up a week ago. It's gonna grow in. These have to have time, especially if you're gonna have them in here most of spring. So you're gonna build your soil in. And even in the middle, you're going to want to because we're gonna give her a place to sit, or the bunny rabbit. For me, it's gonna be the bunny rabbit, inevitably. And again, you can kind of see I'm just poking around here, filling in, nothing major. Okay, so now I've decided I'm gonna use some Easter color. Again, your creativity is your limit. So, as I tuck this down in here, we're gonna take a break. So we'll be right back and we'll finish up our basket and then we'll go into our question of the week and our word of the week.
A nursing home or your own home, it's good to be home. So call Ember Complete Care for all of your home health needs. When you're recovering from illness or injury, our compassionate staff promotes healing in the most comfortable environment of all, your own home. For skilled nursing, physical therapy, wound care, and more, Ember Complete Care serves all of Tuscarawas, Coshocton, and Harrison counties. Call 800-462-0909. Ember Complete Care. It's good to be home.
In 2008, we were notified that our funding would be, our corporate funding would be reduced. So we were very much struggling in 2009. The Tuscarawas County Community Foundation came in like a white knight on a horse and saved the Arts Center. Now that looks like we're going to be here forever, people are coming in and more willing to support the organization and help us achieve our mission.
We're always looking for better ways to do things, but with some banks, better for them isn't always better for you.
You've reached Megabank. Press 1 to hear your current balance. Press 2 to hear these options again.
Introducing free Kasasa checking. When you do stuff for us, like swipe your debit card or get e-statements, we make it even better for you with cash back and refunds on ATM fees. Kasasa, carried locally at First Federal Community Bank. Do you Kasasa?
Guys, welcome back. Well, while you guys were getting something to drink, I finished this up. And I decided to hide my little fairy in there since she looks like she's digging through the dirt anyhow with the bunny. Now the last piece that I want to give you guys, if you're going to be doing these, it's a lot easier to use these pot shots from Osmocote. I love them. All you have to do is space them out, push them down in. They're nuggets, so they're going to fertilize for you. So throughout the course of the season, you don't have to mess with the bloom mix and ruin stuff. So all you do is push them down in. But this is just a really quick, simple example of what you can do with a little fairy garden, or take the fairy out. So, hope you guys like this. This is gonna sit on my table for a while outside on my deck table. So last but not least, the important part, our question of the week. Our question of the week this week, it was, Heather, what is the difference between an annual and a perennial? It's confusing for a lot of people. An annual, think annually, think 1 year. You know, your annuals, your petunias, your million bells, those are all annuals. So understand that they're not gonna come back, they're not winter hardy. Your perennials are the ones that you can put in the ground and they come back year after year. Some will live 5 years, some will live 10. So I hope that answers your question, and I wanna thank you for that. The word of the week, this is a weird word, but you're going to see it on bags, is mycorrhizae. You're finding it in a lot of potting mixes. And what mycorrhizae is, it's a fungus, or a fungi, I should say. It forms a symbiotic relationship with our plant roots. And it doesn't matter what plant, shrubs, trees, everything. But what it does, it gets close to the roots, it forms a relationship, and it helps the plant uptake its food 100 to 1,000 times better. So when you're looking at, again, I like ProMix, ProMix has it in it. So when you see that weird word, that mycorrhizae, that is a good thing. And I strongly encourage everybody to pick a bag up of it and make sure it's got it in it. If it doesn't, that's fine. It's just a huge help. And almost every plant likes it. So from here on out, being as though we're in Ohio, we want to make sure that we're bringing you the best stuff. So I can't really say what's on the 4th episode, but it'll be a surprise. Between now and then, if you have any questions, I forgot to tell you last week, and even in the 1st episode, you can find me on Facebook. If you look up The Garden Girl, you can find me there, and I encourage you to message me with any questions you may have. I'm more than happy to answer in the evenings. Usually I'm busy all day, but in the evenings I will try to get back to you. So don't hold back, send me pictures. You can also stop down here at Hillcrest. I'm usually here all the time, and I want to thank Mark again for letting us shoot down here at Hillcrest Garden Center. We're right in Dover, Ohio, so easy to get to for our local community people. But make sure on the seeds that you're consistently watering, still no fertilizer yet, and have patience if some of them haven't come up. So until next week, let's pray for some sun, hopefully, and 70s, and I'll have a nice surprise for you next week. So God bless and see you soon. Thanks.